as we blow time on, and we're underway. Kick-off by the skipper of Farah, Logan Spinks. And to bring it back here, Central Coast Sports College. They're in the black strip. And as we mentioned, they are coming off a win. That was play number 1, Zach Visconti. The front row, and there's an early error. So Farah, Cooper Blindman cleans it up, and they've got the ball 20 metres away from the Central Coast Sports College try line. Here's Spinks, the skipper on that left side. He's their captain, and he's just about in everything. He's also their goal kicker as well, as we see Wetherill now towards the centre via Charlie Henderson. And now centre of the park, Farah looking for first blood here, played there by Follington. And Wetherill has a go himself here as he backs into the tackle. Tackle made there by Isaac Fodumola, the 5'8" for Central Coast Sports College. As they go again through the middle and direct, and there's a penalty. I was going to say he was looking likely there, Dustin Wizikowski, but referee Regan Evans has blown his whistle.
Yeah, obstruction coming in behind one of his own players, obstructed a defender from Central Coast. They're off the hook there. They're under a fair bit of pressure. The actual angle play looked in itself to be dangerous. Took a undue advantage, and a huge sigh of relief for Central Coast to get possession and get it out of their red zone. Referee, I'd say a second ball on.
So Central Coast Sports College, now 30 away from their own line. And looks like that hooker there wearing jumper number 21. We weren't actually given a jumper number 21, but we will certainly do our best. The starting hooker that was named was Lachlan Simpson, unless he's had a jumper change. And hooker for Central Coast Sports College. Up to halfway. There's an attempted offload there from Pasikawa. And it's worked out okay for Central Coast Sports College. Jack Sanday, the number 11. He'll play it into enemy territory. And now Jack Visconti again.
Got a big rap on him, Visconti. Or he made a couple of rep sides.
Yeah, he looked fired up too on halfway when the teams were shaking hands. He certainly means business. And Leif Dietrich now, the Farah fullback, he's tackled 9 metres out from his own line.
Complaining that he was interfered with as he was trying to get to his feet, but the referee would have nothing of it. Not a good first ruck play either. You've got to go hard and straight there, run across field and stand upright, put backwards. This will put a lot of pressure on this set of 6.
Yeah, that was Coburn Battle it was, and just beyond their own 10-metre line. So a great defensive set here from Central Coast Sports College. The halfback now, inside pass from Harrison Thrift there, finding Wizikowski.
Played on the wing last week, Wizikowski, so it just shows you the versatility of players these days. Wing to second row. Wouldn't happen in my day, mate. The Wingers didn't want to get anywhere near that scrum.
So this will be the last. And no, it's not the last, but the ball comes loose. Was it touched by Central Coast? What's the referee going to rule here?
So he's lost it forward, and therefore a scrum feed to Central Coast. You mentioned it was a little bit loose, Drury, and that's pretty much how that set of 6 was for Farah. They wouldn't be happy with that. They were under pressure the whole time. They now... Yes, so Central Coast will get possession. Good chance to go straight on the attack.
Yes, so the number 13 here in Taj Matthews. Had a horrible start to this game with an early knock on, but followed it up with a brilliant defensive set. And have a look at the territory now where they'll start this set. Attacking Farah's try line, Central Coast. Here's Jack Sanday. Jake Sanday, I should say. Short side play via Chase Bailey, the starting halfback. He'll take the tackle. He was wrapped up there by Noah Hooley. It's only 10 away. And again, it's Pasikawa for Central Coast Sports College. Winning their opening game last week. Quick hands here. Nice little footwork from Vaatua. And Vaatua edges closer and closer to the line. Opposite number 12, Logan Spinks there in the tackle. 5th and last. So Simpson goes to the halfback. Brilliant little kick through. It was on a platter. And the try is scored there by Central Coast Sports College. It was a Chase Bailey kick, and the try scorer is the front rower. And it might just be Christian Pasakawa who's claiming the 4-pointer as Central
Disallowed.
Coast strike. No, it's a disallowed try. Wow. So no try and a penalty to Farah.
Potentially offside at the kick, I would say. Well, that little grubber kick through, well placed, flash through there to support. But gee whiz, that's a big breakthrough there for Farah. They're under a lot of pressure. Their attack out of that end has not been authoritative. Let's see what they do with the possession here now. You've got to get a roll on and get it down the other end of the park. Again, not getting to the advantage line. All the good sides work on that advantage line, especially early in the set of 6. Get the defence rolling back, and then you can do a little bit more later on. That's better. A little bit of a turn back on the inside, and that's the big fellow in Spinks. He's the skipper and a very, very dangerous left side runner.
And worked over there by Zach Visconti, the number 8 for Central Coast Sports College. He's definitely one to watch, but as you say, David, a massive run there from Spinks, and how things have changed. Now Farah with the momentum, approaching the 20, just slipping there was it Milsom? He'll play it. And they come towards the outer side there, and Dietrich went without it. Good defensive pressure and scooped up by Chase Bailey. And now he's knocked on, has he? We might come back for the original knock on.
I'd say no advantage taken there by Central Coast. Good, strong defence to come up and put pressure on Dietrich. He came into the line, but pressure right on him, knocked the ball forward, picked up by Central Coast. They then knocked it on as well. So they'll at least get possession, but deep inside their own territory. And both sides have been a little bit loose so far in their passing. Some willing defence, but really the passing has let both sides down at times.
Oh, almost intercepted. Got a hand to that, did Blindman. 6 more, although it was the first tackle. So, Fotu Mola, all is well that ends well. But how often do you see, well, the really skillful players will turn those half chances into an intercept at times, David, and he was certainly close enough to score if he was able to catch that.
Need reaction time there. He just blocked the pass in the action of making the tackle, I might add. I don't think he was initially trying to do that, and then the ball went free. Another chance now for Central Coast to get it out of their own territory. That's a good flat ruck play. I like that. Coming off up and over that advantage line. There it is.
Sarge Matthews it was. Yeah, gee, they've got some good forwards, don't they, Central Coast Sports College? And now it comes here to Xavier Singh. And is that a forward pass? A forward pass the call, yes.
Yeah, floating forward. So both sides their own worst enemies at this stage. Opportunities being created but not being exploited. Let's just see now whether Farah, and as I say, Farah are the ones that have got to win. Central Coast have had one win, but all sides in this pool have each had a win except for Farah, and this will be the end of the second round. So this one's crucial for Farah to stay in the hunt for the last round, and then with a good chance to perhaps represent this pool in the finals.
So here they go, Farah, and here's a wonderful run by that man again, Wizikowski.
Not bad for a winger.
So Henderson, and again Spinks, the captain of Farah Memorial Agricultural High School. Dietrich chiming in, and now Coburn Battle. 17 metres out here, Farah. Had a big scare earlier, disallowed try to Central Coast Sports College. And their second real crack at the Central Coast Sports try line here. It's with Nathaniel Follington inside the 10. Wetherell dummy, he'll go himself. Darcy Wetherell.
Not a good 6 tackle play that. Wetherell thought it was an opportunity. He had his big skipper out on his left in Spinks, decided not to use him through the dummy, and really it was wishful thinking. Good dash there by the winger in Singh to get it up over the 10-metre line. Gives you a platform to go again. It's good scoot out of dummy half as well. So both wingers wishing this time gets it well and truly up over the 30. They're out of trouble already in terms of territorial trouble. It's a better rushing line of defence by Farah. First time they've turned it back.
Brendan Cousins it is, 35 out from his own line as now Simpson just feeding the front rower there in Visconti. And now just outside the 40 with that kick from Chase Bailey. It'll bounce and it'll bounce into touch. Just Touchy's flag raised. And not a bad end of the set, but Farrell will probably take that from their perspective as well.
Yeah, they'll get possession from this. I think the Schoolboys used this rule, which was new to the rugby league or to the NRL the last year or so. And that was, it used to be a scrum a few years ago. And I think the schools retained that for a while. It's good to see them now going to this free-flowing part of the game. No need to pack a scrum there. If you put it out of touch, then the other team should get the ball.
Again, he was great last week, William Milsom, as he got the offload away. And now played there by the lock forward in Hayden Mitchell it was. Here's Logan Spinks, does plenty of work. That was a tough one for Battle to take. The right idea from Spinks, just the pass. A little to be desired there, and a turnover in possession because Central Coast Sports College come away with it. Taj Matthews has now lost it. I think the advantage was played there, righty, so we'll play on with Cooper Blindman. And now Farah on halfway, fresh set of 6, and now a penalty.
Yeah, second man into flop on the tackle player. It is that action or the signal by the referee. Both sides have been guilty of unforced errors, and the first one that can value possession is going to take some advantage. Both sides have been a bit loose in passing, particularly in traffic. You've got to almost do a risk assessment on the run and see what they can do from here. Farah, good chance to build an attack from here.
Indeed. Charlie Henderson. Slow, play the ball. Centre of the park here, Farah. The Tamworth School, and it's with Mitchell looking for their win. And David, it's fair to say it's a must-win game, isn't it, for Farah today?
Yeah, Farah need the win to get it to one win each across the whole pool with 1 round to go. So they're in a good position here to capitalise, about 15 metres out.
So off the back of the Milsom play, the ball, Weatherall, early kick, looking for Spinks. Oh, Spinks is first two, and the crowd loves it. Logan Spinks scores. He is unstoppable for Farah. And they're the ones that strike first. 4-0, kick to come.
One of those kick tries. Nice little kick it was too, well judged. And you could tell it was premeditated. It wasn't something ad-lib there. Spinks had already, I guess, indicated or said at least he'd be in support. Little chip over the top. You just want those to pop up, and it depends how you kick it. If you kick under the ball, it's likely to pop up. If you kick over the top, almost like a top spin, it'll run on. So they got the right little bounce there, but it's often... no fluke. Even though the ball is an awkward bouncer, a rugby league ball, you can control it with how you kick the ball. And Spinks backed up nicely. Again, an indication though, Drew, these days fullbacks are in the line. So there's always that vulnerability in behind there because the chances are there is no defenders, and that's what was spotted by Farah.
Why are fullbacks in the line more these days, do you think?
Mate, I think it's been a progression that it's all about saying, well, we'll just stop you getting through. Another man in the line means less chance of gaps and being broken, but it leaves that vulnerability behind. And certainly a lot of sides are exploiting it these days, those little kicks.
I know you're a big fan of the grubber, David, although that was a little chip over the top.
Yeah, any of those short kicks are dangerous, and kick tries, we see a lot of them.
Spinks to convert his own try, straight as an arrow. Farah Memorial Agricultural High School 6 leads Central Coast Sports College 0.
I say about those kick tries, Drury, is they're not easy in that there's a lot of skill in it, but they're simple. No one can tackle you. Once you've got a line of defenders in front of you, chip over the top, no one can touch you. You can just run through and score. So that's why we're seeing, and I mentioned last week, there was a game I watched the other day in the NRL. Of the first 7 tries scored, 5 of them were from kick tries. Now, either bombs or grubbers or chip over the top. So it is a real weapon these days to be utilised at the top level, and that's why the kids are doing more of it as well. Well executed try that, and Farah get to hold the lead. Last week they were down 14-0 after 10 minutes. At least they've got their noses in front this time in a must-win game.
They're a brave football side, Farah, aren't they, Roddy? As we mentioned, down 14-0 last week. And, they're a very physical opponent, Central Coast Sports College. They are intimidating somewhat for kids their own age. And led by Logan Spinks, they're always in the battle of Farah.
Yeah, definitely. And what I like about, as you say, Drury, they were down 14-0, and then they just worked their way back. They, grinded their way back to 14-12, and then nearly won at the dying minutes. Just couldn't get across the trolley. Spinks a chance, he passed, got away with it.
Attracting 3 in a tackle, and the value of the offload when you can do that, that's an extra 15, 20 metres right there. Tackled is Nathaniel Follington, 41 out here, Wetherell. A little step off the right foot there from Harrison Thrift. Tackled by his opposite, number 7, Chase Bailey. So Wetherell now, here comes the kick, and Spinks is the target again, although it goes towards a little further towards the sideline. Blinman was the target. He did well there, Xavier Singh. He's wrapped up 5 out from his own line, 5 in from touch.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of that kick. It really needs to be contested. At the end of the day, you allowed Singh to catch that comfortably, and they'll now have to work the hard yards to get out of their own territory. But you need to be able to contest the kick if you can, and give you another try.
That was the fullback there in Cooper Dean Pataka. Offload away to keep it alive here, Central Coast Sports College. Trailing by 6. They did have an early try disallowed. There wasn't a lot in it either, which would have been under the post. There goes Simpson. We are going to say it's Lachlan Simpson in jumper number 21, who's the starting hooker. He was named in the 9 originally. Christian Pasakawa getting rid of defenders up towards the 50-metre line here. Just short, but a great run nonetheless. Short side, Simpson goes to Chase Bailey, and Bailey goes high, flirting with the sideline. Did that stay in and bounce over? Yes, it did, David. So a kick really to perfection. He only had a couple of metres to work with there.
Yeah, he'll take that. Had it gone out in the full, we'd have gone back to where the kick was taken, of course.
Never in doubt, David.
But they'll have to bring it out through the hard yards. And they've done pretty well there, Central Coast, to get it from one end of the park to the other. Got their backs to the wall, Farah. Let's just see how hard it is to get out. These are literally the hard yards. You've got to get a good ruck play going. Roll on, quick play the balls. You allow the fence to be running up faster than you're running forward. You're going to get put on your backside.
Spinks again, gets away from the first and the second. Xavier Singh forced to make the tackle in conjunction there with Isaac Fodumola. And now Henderson looking to find the turf and does so. Interesting bounce as well. Oh, he's lost his footing as he did. Pataka just managed to get his claws to the football there. He'd lost his footing and turned out to be a real effective kick there by Charlie Henderson. Central Coast with possession.
Yeah, good work to get it down that other end of the park. And the kick, as soon as you let it bounce, it can go anywhere in those high kicks.
There's a strong shot.
We haven't seen too much real power defence. The attackers tended to work through, as we've just seen there. Let's see if either side can really stand up in defence.
Both teams got really good structures. There's Visconti, as you mentioned, David. He's already a celebrated player at this level. So high kick. Cousins was there. They allowed Farah to get the first play. It knocked back there by Blinman, but fortune favours the brave. He has a second bite of the cherry as he pulls his dacks up there. Well done, young man.
He was very fortunate. Ball just, if anything, just falling backwards. He lost control of it. Good chance now for Farah again to work it out. Both sides seem to be able to get pretty comfortable territory out of their own end. It's the halfway line, so good chance now for Farah to go back on the attack again.
That was Callum Cocking who's on the field.
Both dummy halves, I think, have looked pretty good to me. Wetherall dashes out a dummy half, tries to create, and I've also been impressed with Simpson, the number 21 for Central Coast.
Dustin Wizikowski, 35 metres away here, Farah. They lead by 6. Approaching the 10-minute mark in the first half. Quick hands on now to Coburn Battle. Some time and space to work with. Gets away from the attempted tackle from Fodu Mola and still going, but then he lost it as Central Coast Sports College turned defence into attack.
And does all his good work, plus the good work that was done on the inside. Battle there, not in secured possession, was half looking to get an arm free to offload. Instead, lost possession. Turns the whole game around. Great chance now for Central Coast to show their wares.
Both teams playing this game at such a speed, aren't they? And have a look who's winding up again, Christian Pasakawa. More run meters for him. 41 away centre field. Simpson to Taj Matthews, who's through. Taj Matthews puts it on the boot. It came off Dietrich, went straight back to Central Coast, however. So some quick thinking from Taj Matthews means that Central Coast Sports College playing it through Bailey, 10 out. Now the kick from Fodumola, beautifully taken by Xavier Singh. And what's the ruling here? He's got his hands on his head as he dropped it cold, David. Goodness gracious me.
I thought he was home for sure. Beautiful build-up it was. It's a shame it wasn't a try. Singh there with a good chance to get across in the right corner. He's blown it at the last millimetre. Little kick play by Fodumola. They don't mind putting kicks in, Drew. The preceding play when Matthews went straight through, he was very keen to put a kick straight in, rebounded off the fullback at the time. So 2 run plays within 10 metres, they put 2 kicks on. Neither one ultimately, they were threatening both of them, but neither one paid dividends.
Very late offload away, and I think the error was forced from Simpson coming in. He read that offload, David.
I think he's got it for Farris knock on though, Drury.
That's, yeah, look, it was Charlie Henderson knocked it on, just from the offload there. It was the pressure of Simpson who read it from a defensive perspective from Central Coast.
Yeah, Spinks is capable of offloading. He's such good technique and he's big and strong, but you've got to be circumspect. You've got to be sure that it's worth the risk.
So from the scrum win now, Central Coast Sports College, Samasoni Talakai. Was he tackled?
Referee thought so.
Ooh, and they played the ball. Not getting it right there, Talakai. It was a wonderful run. And now a changeover on play number 1. It'll be Farah's ball yet again.
Well, the little things that count. And Talakai done all the hard work, ran off the mark. Therefore, just had to take a breath and come back and play it. Instead, didn't take care. The ball was initially rolled forward, which is not permitted. Hasn't been for many years. In the old days, you could do it in any direction. The attack on both sides has been very creative. Plenty of opportunities to get through line. They don't mind standing to try and offload. But the passes have let both sides down. I think if you get a bit more control going here, whatever side starts to control a bit of possession, still with positive intent, could trouble either defence.
And now they work the right edge here. Farrett opens up. Wizikowski beats another. Got past Talakai. Eventually wrapped up. So Farah, Weatherall, the pass was behind. He's outside back. And Central Coast Sports College with it. About a whisker in from the outer touchline. Just when Farah were looking likely.
Yeah, these coaches will be keen to get these teams in the dressing room at half time. They're just a bit loose in their play. Looks like they think there's something on every play, whereas that's not the case. Too many errors. Settles down. Can win this. Another little chip kick.
Yeah, chip and chase over the top, and well regathered from Xavier Singh. Geez, got some great work in anticipating the play, hasn't he?
Good kick by Fodumola as well. Run here by Vayatua.
So here is Vayatua, and this will be the last play. 12 metres out, 10 in from touch. Short side, Simpson, Fodumola, and the number 15 here is Colafale. They come back towards the middle. Visconti, quick hands, Chase Bailey, and now the number 11 in Sanday. And Farah have done well to hold out Central Coast. They've come close to scoring twice, Central Coast Sports College, David Wright, and despite trailing on the scoreboard, they're well and truly in this game. I mean, you could argue, worst case, they've matched Farah. They might have even just been the better side, but it's an even contest, isn't it?
Yeah, there's really nothing in it. Both sides look threatening with possession. That ball was stripped. You said it was a one-on-one strip, and therefore, who was knocked on? Knocked on by Farah. So another chance here for Central Coast. It was a reefing action, I think, by Fotumola. And in reefing it out, the ref has decided it's been lost forward by Farah. This is their best chance, the Central Coast boys.
So from the scrum wing, quick hands, Fotumola, Xavier Singh unmarked in
Forward,
the corner. And it's been called forward. Can you believe it? That is now the third time, David Wright, they've thought they've scored the Central Coast, and they haven't. Somehow, they're still scoreless in this match.
And Singh's been across the try line twice for those. Once he was over the line within a millimetre of the grass and dropped it. And then the work on the inside was terrific. The run out of the scrum base, Simpson was involved again. The halfback involved. They created some good plays. Got to put the winger in space. That's exactly what you're trying to do. And instead, the pass went forward. Very costly.
Inside the final 5 minutes of the first half, of course, we play 30-minute halves in the Peter Mulholland Cup. You're watching Australian Schoolboys Rugby League. Great to have you with us. 6-0 the score. Farah leading Central Coast. Played there by Follington. And now the lock in Hayden Mitchell. Spins away from one. Can only go as far as the 30. So on the last here, and he was under all sorts of pressure there, Charlie Henderson, but again somehow manages to find the turf. A great kick.
What a kick. That's gone 90 metres.
Cooper Dean Pataka there to retrieve for Central Coast Sports College.
Sorry, Drury. What an important kick, mate. With 3 minutes up to half time, they put pressure back on Central Coast. They've got to go coast to coast here, literally, to get a try on just before half time. Let's see whether they can create something. They have looked dangerous. And a run there by Singh out of dummy half. I like those scoots. Wingers can make a lot of ground with their pace out of the dummy half play.
Not often a winger gets a compliment from a former front rower, David.
You won't hear it again.
Fotumola, lovely ball on the inside.
They certainly earn their keep more these days, the wingers. Hope my old teammates aren't listening to this, Ian Douth and co, but they certainly do a lot of work. Here we go.
And
this
Singh,
time.
can Singh finally score? Xavier Singh straightens like a bullocking, rampaging bull. And he plants it down, does he? He's claiming the try. Jubilant scenes. And Xavier Singh, it's a case of third time lucky. And Central Coast Sports College are on the board. Try to Singh.
And he had to work hard to get this one too. He got across the try line, was held up for a moment and had to wrestle his way to the ground. Good build-up back in the centre field. Cousins has had a few chances, the number 4, the right centre, to put Singh away. And finally, for the third time, he puts him in clear territory. He does well to score it.
And David, you can't say that Central Coast Sports College didn't deserve that one.
No, they have been threatening. They've been very close to scoring. As Drury said, Singh's been close himself 3 times. One dropped over the line, one a forward pass, and then that one just able to wrestle and get it to the ground. Probably 6-4 is a reasonable indication of the match thus far. And with the kick to come by Chase Bailey, we could have it all locked up.
Yeah, not an easy kick here for Chase Bailey, but could be the difference in terms of the body language going to the sheds, whether they're tied up at 6-all. I'd feel a lot better about themselves if he can convert here, Chase Bailey. He moves in the right footer. Looks good off the boot. I reckon he's got it. He has. Chase Bailey goes bang. And we've got a 6-all ball game here. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Farah 6, Central Coast 6.
Good kick too it was by Bailey. That's an awkward kick from that angle for a right foot kicker. And you can see the touch judges move to the right, upright as they were looking at it, the left from the kicker's point of view. And he must have only just scraped in that upright. And well, it's probably a fair indication. 6-all. We've only got 30 seconds up to half time. Both sides have looked dangerous with the ball. The only thing that's stopped them scoring more tries is a bit of poor handling. Let's see if they can improve in the second half.
So the hit up here. They broke the deadlock, Central Coast Sports College, in terms of them scoring. And here's Vayatua to bring it back. Devontae Vayatua. They finally got their try, and here they go. Will they have the final say in the first half, the visitors? Up to the 40, only tackle number 2, Simpson. And chopped it around the hips there, and a solid tackle by Follington. Central Coast through Jake Sanday. 43 metres out. This will be the last play of the half. Simpson at the line. Dean Pataka keeps it alive, and a little fumble there perhaps from Taj Matthews under pressure. It was a tough one, and that is half time. It's Farah Memorial Agricultural High School 6, Central Coast Sports College 6.
This game is critically important for both sides, particularly Farah. Farah must win, otherwise they can't win their pool.
Second half, we are underway. Chase Bailey to get us going. Farah with first possession. And a big run. There he is in that green headgear, William Milsom, who really has led the charge, along with other Farah forwards, Follington, and of course, how can you forget Logan Spinks? They're their big three. And I'll tell you what, don't know about you, Righty, but Darcy Weatherall, he's effective as well, their hooker for Farah.
Yeah, he has looked good. I think both dummy halves have been quite creative. A bit of bad luck here for William Milsom. He's in a bit of a bother. He did seem to reach up toward maybe the neck or throat area, so he's getting the best of attention as the trainers come out, and these guys are all well and truly qualified to, admittedly, I think the yellow shirt's the water runner, but the other guys in the orange and the blue shirts, I think it is, who are looking after Weatherall, I should say Milsom now, are making sure that he's quite okay. Whether he can continue or not, he ran the ball strongly there, and suggesting there was a high shot. I didn't pick it up, but certainly he struggled to get to his feet and is still down at the moment. But as we've said, Drury, important game for both sides. Second round of this 3-round pool competition, and Central Coast have already got one win up, and Farah have not. So we've still got Milsom on the ground getting the attention.
It is a continuous clock as well. So Farah and Central Coast Sports College 6 apiece, early stage in the second half. Of course, Farah coached by Peter Stevens, and Central Coast Sports College coached by Michael Sullivan. And David, you and Michael Sullivan have something in common, don't you?
Yeah, coincidentally, Drury, I'd like to pay tribute to both coaches initially. They've been very good over the last couple of days. Both, phone discussions I've had with both of the coaches, and they've been very helpful in supplying some extra player information. But coincidentally, Michael Sullivan, who played quite a bit of NRL footy, played for Cronulla and South Sydney, I think maybe even the Northern Eagles as well. But he also played with Warrington in England, which is my old club, and he was there in 2006, 2007, played sort of hooker, come in the halves, one of those versatile players. And I think he was a winner of one of the best looking rugby league guys in the competition in those days, mate. So that's Michael Sullivan. And he obviously, he was probably, when he was playing halfback, it wouldn't have been when he was playing hooker that he was best looking, I wouldn't have thought. But look, those coaches have been very helpful on all fronts, and they do some great work. And it's good to see young Milsom getting back to his feet. He won't continue on at the moment. He's obviously still struggling.
Now, David, of course, you played for Warrington, won a Challenge Cup final in 1974, defeating the Featherston Rovers, and you'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of that Challenge Cup win next year, and my sources tell me you're getting ready to fly across the other side of the world to celebrate.
Yeah, well, it's quite a possibility, Drew. May, the 11th of May, I'll never forget it. What a day that was. We had one hell of a footy team. I was very lucky. I only went there 1 year, and we won just about everything, including the championship. So the Challenge Cup is a knockout competition that's played sort of in between their premierships. So and it's played down at Wembley. And there's a knock on. Well, we've seen it. That can often happen after there's been a stoppage in play. Players not concentrating. Great chance now for Central Coast.
Yeah, Follington spilling the bickies there. So after all that, In fact, we've seen it at the start of both halves today.
Yep.
Both sides receiving off the kickoff have knocked on. So now Central Coast, can they capitalise? Farah couldn't early in the game. Just retreating there was Fodumola just to not give away that penalty. So here come Central Coast Sports College, only 10 metres out and attacking the try line. Jake Sanday it is, taken to ground. And now the short crash ball. It's Devontae Vayatua. Number 16 is on for Fraser. Lachlan Hawkins in that tackle. Last play, Chase Bailey. Little kick through. Oh, what a take that was. And Farah come away from that set unscathed.
Well, you could tell Farah were very intent on protecting their
Noah
line.
Hooley, David. Noah Hooley with that play.
Yeah, well done, Noah Hurley, right centre. Took it a good slips catch, so to be pretty handy. And, oh, there's another knock on. Well, their own worst enemies. It's continuing.
So Central Coast Sports College, Jake Sanday, they got a full set of 6. Can Farah hang on? Also on the field, Tali Kolafale, who came on late in that first half. He goes close, only a metre away. Trouble here for Farah. They are hanging on at the moment. Gee, they're lined up to the right here. They come the way back towards the middle Central Coast. That's Lachlan Jeffrey, who gave it away for the hit up, and now Jeffrey will set. Looks like he's playing in the halves here, Jeffrey. Dean Pataka lurking the fullback, and here he goes. He gets it. Dean Pataka from the offload, and they take the lead for the first time today. Central Coast Sports College try to Cooper Dean Pataka.
What a good backup play it was. Has the referee awarded this? They're looking around. I'd say he has. Or has he?
I don't think he has, David.
Knocked up. So forward pass. I'd say he's got that ruling from his touch judge. The ball went forward. It was a beautiful, will appear to be a really good offload to Dean Pataka, but instead the ball's gone forward. Well, there's been a number of disallowed tries today, Drew, and basically all of them from Central Coast. They have frittered away chances within sight of the try line 3 or 4 times.
So the ruling forward pass, David, is that right?
I believe it was.
Okay.
He went and checked with his touch judge.
Yep.
So I'd say it appeared to be a pretty good offload. It was a second phase play, and the fullback looping the initial front runner. So he had all the skills, but it just floated forward.
So Farah now with possession. Six all the score remains, and they're over halfway here, Farah. There's the captain, Spinks. Left edge back rower. They've got all the students cheering them on here in the second half as the kick comes in. It's a high one again from Charlie Henderson. Is that the error there from Dean Pataka? Well, moments ago, David, he thought he was scoring a try. How things can change quickly in this game of rugby league. Knock on at the back, and now Farah will be attacking, looking to be the ones to take the lead.
Yeah, vital error that one. Looks like Cousins, the number 4 for Central Coast, is in a lot of trouble too with a leg or ankle injury. There he is hobbling. He's not going to be able to continue. So that's a loss to Central Coast. They've already got Jeffrey, the 14, playing in the halves at the moment, so they're starting to ring a few changes, but this one will be a forced one. Cousins, you wouldn't think with that level of pain that he's going to be able to come back and play on. But the error now by Central Coast gives a good chance here for Farah. They've done well when you think of it. 8 minutes, Drew. They're under a lot of pressure there. They've made a lot of errors themselves. They worked their way out of their own territory, put a good high kick up. I wouldn't say forced an error, but it brought about an error from Dean Pataka. And this is one of the best chances they'll have. Can they, if they get through their set of 6, they're a chance to put it across the try line. Must
win for Farah this afternoon, just repeating. It's only 3 rounds in the pool stage of the Peter Mulholland Cup. This round number 2. And there's Wizikowski on the 10-metre line. So Farah, here they come. Follington. Legs pumping and driving. Only a metre or so as Weatherall sends it to The 5'8" Charlie Henderson. Trouble here as Spinks winding up close to the line. Logan Spinks. Follington, he'll go through as the decoy. And now Henderson, and eventually out the back, Dietrich. Quick hands on the bounce there to Hooley. Little knock-on's the call. Perhaps it went forward. Either way, it's a turnover. Central Coast Sports College will have possession.
Well, the trend continues. Both sides making errors in this second half. Farah is probably about their third one in the opening 10 minutes or so. Good chance now for Central Coast to get it out of their own territory.
Who do you think's on top here, David? It's a close one, as we've said numerous times. Who's winning the battle at the moment?
No one. No one. They just can't get some. Neither side can get consistent ball because they're just they're just not getting through to the set of. They're not building any pressure on the opposition. They're surrendering possession. The first side that does will be dangerous. Still a lot of good running. Individual play, I think, has been good. I don't think they're using Spinks as well as what they might. He came back on that big angle there before. He wants to be a gap runner. He wants to be a bloke who's hitting gaps, not coming across 4 or 5 players. He's a good ruck play up over the halfway line.
Yeah, some great work around the ruck by skipper Lachlan Simpson. Quick play the balls as well. Really got Farah on the back foot there and good enough to earn Central Coast a penalty. About
the first time in the game we've seen back-to-back sixes. So let's just see what Central Coast can do with that. They've had one set to get to there, that vital penalty. Now they've got 6 right on the try line. Ball control.
So Bailey taps and dishes to Taj Matthews. As you can see in the background there, less than 20 minutes remaining. You're all tied up. Can they break the deadlock here? Visconti still going here, Zach Visconti. Simpson. Long pass. Fodumola was the intended target. And then cleaning up the mess there, Cooper Dean Pataka. Putting his hand up for a run now is Vayatua. Real intent with that carry. 3-man tackle for Farah. They come back towards the middle. Visconti's there. Chopped around the hips. Solid tackle in defence. Was it Follington? Yes, it was. So this has been the last. It's crept up already as Bailey, little kick in behind, and sums it up nicely there. Jai Tanner for Farah, who have the ball only a couple of metres out from their own line. Now up to the 10.
I've been a bit critical of the handling of both sides, but you can't deny their last line of defence. Farah there were right their backs to the wall and did very well, as Central Coast have done on a number of occasions as well. So they don't lack desperation. They just lack a little bit of ball control at the moment.
Spinks, he got it early. Decided to send it to his backs via Coburn Battle. And now this should be Cooper Blinman, you would think. Yes, it is, to play it. He's a good little winger there for Farah. Certainly played well last week and playing well again this week. Now it's Dustin Wizikowski as they centre proceedings here. The school from Tamworth wearing the Australian colours. Kick comes in from Charlie Henderson. Geez, kicked well today. This time he finds Dean Pataka on the full. Pataka, little dummy. Ran straight into a solid tackle there from Logan Spinks. And they've given away another penalty. Farah's at 3 in a row.
Trying to think what the penalty there was for. I thought for a moment it might second tackle in the flop. So Spinks was the main man. He didn't need any help with that beautiful tackle right around the midriff. There should be more players, even in the NRL, tackling around that midriff area. I think one of the biggest problems in the game at the moment, Drew, at the top level, are these upright tackles. You know, when we were taught how to tackle, you bend your back, you hit around the midriff, drive with your shoulder. They're all wanting to wrap the ball up first, and no wonder we're getting head clashes. The problem is in the upright tackle. And we saw Spinks put on a beauty there right around the midriff, but a second man in caused a penalty for the flop.
Devontae Vayatua. Can they convert these opportunities, Central Coast? That is the question. Christian Pasakawa, certainly tackling above his weight there, was the much smaller Lachlan Hawkins, did well. You could call that a one-on-one tackle. And Visconti, he's been solid as a rock for Central Coast Sports College today.
Work rate's been great too.
He's a real competitor, isn't he? Zach Visconti. And now Bailey, a little dummy. Thrift there. He's opposing number 7 in defence. Also Wetherill to make the tackle for Farah. And Simpson. And now Jeffrey.
Good tackle, one-on-one. Simpkin had to make it. I should say Spinks had to make it.
Played by Lachlan Jeffrey now. And it comes away of Fodumola. And a little knock on there from the winger. And I believe that, well, we don't know who that was out there, but it was a knock on. That's what we do know. And it'll be a Farah possession.
Yeah, good build up in the middle. They punched a few times at the try line. Then just a pass that was throwing hope.
It is Xavier Singh's wing. But whoever was out in that wing, just a little knock on. Tough one to take. There's the other winger in shot there on the screen, number 2. In Andre Wisham for Central Coast. It's a Farah possession. Coburn battle to play it. Just beyond the 20-metre line here for Farah. And now Jai Tanner. Just over the 30. They're a resilient team, this Farah. Just their try line defence, David, is what's keeping this score at 6-all.
Absolutely.
And there's a kick. That was just inside the 40, mind you. Again from Henderson. Cooper Dean Pataka to return. And over the top in the tackle for Farah, Darcy Wetherill.
Pretty good kick chase there too. Good long kick downfield. Run out of dummy half. Good
and
one.
Wisham is through. Andre Wisham. Can he beat the fullback? Dietrich coming across. Tackle that had to be made. A little facial for his troubles there too from Charlie Henderson. Hasn't he got some game? Fodumola at the line. Inside. Great line running from Vaiatua. He had support on the outside, elected to go himself early in the tackle count. It was Colafale there out on the wing. And what a pick-up there from Christian Pasacao. Well, Pasacao, I should say. And as a former front rower, David, you could appreciate that surely. The most intelligent front rower to ever play the game. David Wright in the commentary box. Singh, cut out pass to Wisham for the corner. Can he get it down? Or is that just brilliant cover defence? Try awarded, Andre Wisham. You can put the try assist down to Xavier Singh. And Central Coast Sports College, reward for persistence. They finally take the lead. A try in the corner, 10-6.
I think it was Wisham who, a referee, just hang on a sec, just called timeout.
We're not going up to the bunker, are we, Roddy?
He's calling out a player, maybe a verbalisation here. Maybe, well, the skipper is being called over as the witness. Spinks, the tall guy. And let's just let's say there could have been a comment made by Blinman. The referee, rightly so, calling it out. But good work by our Central Coast. I think it was Wisham who made that really good bust out of dummy half to get that roll on initially, and then to finish off with that play in the corner. Admittedly, some good play on the inside, the inside back line there. Knew the gaps were on the outside. It had to be good timing because Wisham only just got across in the corner. Cover defence was coming across. There was some suggestion that they could have actually saved the day, but not so. And Central Coast, well, they hit the front for the first time. Plenty of chances. This will be another handy 2 points.
Chase Bailey right on the sideline here. 12 3/4 minutes remaining. A brilliant conversion earlier from Bailey. Another tough one for him. It's online and he's got it. Chase Bailey from the car park. He converts 12 points to 6. Central Coast Sports College leading Farah Memorial Agricultural High School here at John Simpson Oval in Tamworth. You're watching the Peter Mulholland Cup. Drury Forbes alongside David Wright. And we are set for a big finish here in Tamworth.
Yeah, they finally got their just desserts, did the Central Coast, I should say, Sports College.
Wonderful part of the world, David, Central Coast.
Oh, down there, around, is it Gosford, around that area?
Certainly is.
I noticed some of the waterways there are just incredible. There's a place called Brisbane Waters as well, which is a massive waterway, in from the coast like it's a Gulf
They've got
area.
some wonderful beaches and great if you've got a boat around that area as well, and only an hour's drive from Sydney.
And I understand, Drew, the Central Coast Sports College are the first college to actually introduce the combination of a love of sport and education at school. So they're called the Sports College, just like Hunter Sports High School. So there's a number of schools now building the academia and the sporting side, bonded in, and even in their title, some good defence here going on. Where was it in our day, though, mate? I went there. I had to do maths and English.
Isn't it great to see, though? Isn't it
fantastic.
Great to see? And David, you talk about your day. I still can't believe Wavell State High School favourite son here in Brisbane that you didn't send your own kids to Wavell.
No, mate. They end up going to Nudgee College, actually, the two boys. So, but Wavell was great for me, provided a lot of opportunity in all regards, and and that's the opportunity that's been presented to these kids now. Farah aren't done.
No, they are not. Leaf Dietrich there with a big carry. Play number 1, almost up to the 40 on the field now for Farah as well. The other Milsom, Zachary Milsom. He's got the ball 5 short of halfway. Farah. They play right to the final siren. We know that. Just narrowly defeated last week after trailing 14 points to nil, as we see Charlie Henderson now offload away, and it probably wasn't on because Lachlan Simpson, the skipper for Central Coast Sports College, has pounced on it, and the visitors have got it. They lead 12 points to 6 with possession converging in on halfway.
I think we've got a scoreline of 12 points to 6, Drury. I think
definitely
it is,
12 points to 6, yes.
Running out of dummy half. He's had a good game, Simpson.
And Simpson is through. Got support on the inside to Talakai. Samasoni Talakai with a big swan dive right underneath the posts. And Central Coast Sports College, straight and direct. That is their 3rd try.
And it's the first long-distance try of the game. And good work by Simpson. That's just reward from the little dummy half. He took a step out of dummy half and threw a dummy. And then away he went with some good pace. And then it's no good. One of my old coaches always say in under 18, it's only as good as your backup. You can break the line, but you've got to have somebody supporting him. That's exactly what Talakai did. And from about 50 metres out, after Farah started playing a little bit of scoreboard footy, pushed a pass when it wasn't on, and it's not the first time that's happened today. Both sides have been at fault there. But once you get behind, and now they've scooted out to 16 points to 6 with the kick to come, it's going to be very, very hard for Farah in the next 8 minutes. And they were the ones who, had to win this game to stay a chance to be top of their pool. And this win will be pretty handy for the Central Coast. That'll give them... they'll be the only team to have won 2 games. And that'll put them in good position for the last round and perhaps to get through. But for and against could still play a part.
Chase Bailey has kicked some phenomenal conversions. Hard to believe he's finally got one directly in front, David. He's made the impossible very possible with his kicking this afternoon. Chase Bailey needs to keep his perfect record intact and to take it out to a 12-point margin with less than 8 minutes to play. Now Bailey converts, no problems whatsoever. Central Coast Sports College 18 lead Farah Memorial Agricultural High School 6.
As we've said before, Central Coast have been so close to the try line on many, many occasions in this match and failed to score, probably 3 or 4 of them.
Just jumping in, David, but being the must-win game it is for Farah, do you expect a short kick-off here?
Well, possession's the only way they're going to be any chance at all, and they need to do them back-to-back. It's not an easy thing to do just to lob it right on the 10-metre line. So they've decided to punch it downfield and maybe try and force an error. And there's been a number of those today. Both sides have been had some handling problems, but eventually Central Coast have put their game together in the second half with 2 very handy tries.
Yeah, looking into the sun, perhaps the thought process there are the Central Coast in this half. As they go wide early on, some early ball to Wisham, and that was ruled to have gone forward. So there you go. They elected to play footy up the end of the field they desired, and, well, one way or another, it worked out for them.
Well, it did. It's worked out for Farah. I mean, at that stage, the door was locked. And again, we've had another forward pass going to a winger. So there's a bit of a problem Central Coast have had there with passes floating forward. No need for that. Instead, they've given Farah a slight chance to maybe at least draw it. Quick try now would put a bit of heat on.
Weatherall, and here's Battle. 13 metres out. We'll come to you in a moment to talk about the standings, David. We'll stick with the play here with Farah. That's Darcy Weatherall. And now Charlie Henderson to Thrift. Back in field. And some footwork there from Charlie Henderson, who's a real leader in this Farah outfit. Weatherall wants the penalty. Henderson slow to play it. And the penalty going the way of Central Coast against the ball player. And I think it's got something to do with perhaps something Henderson said to the referee, David. Yeah,
it has. The referee touching his mouth there to indicate that there were some complaints made about the officiating, and he won't tolerate that, nor should he.
Now, just on the standings, David, I know that penalty does hurt them, but what does a draw mean for this pool?
Well, a draw would, obviously give an odd number there, and either side, especially the one that's already won in Central Coast, if they were going to get they'd bounce up to 3 points, they'd be a bit of a chance to win it with another win, because at this stage, the other two teams, All Saints Maitland and Hunter, have won one apiece. So a draw could be enough, but at this stage, Central Coast, they should be looking just to close out. Here's Simpson again. Had a good game, the little dummy half. Been impressed with him.
Let's not forget they trailed 6-0, so they've scored 18 unanswered points. Central Coast Sports College. And certainly the clock is on their side now. They can play the percentages and manage the game from here. That was Chase Bailey. Still going Bailey, finally away to his skipper in Simpson. And now that was Sanday who was tackled. Strong tackle at that. A little bit of a push for his troubles from Zachary Milsom as well. They're fired up, the Farah boys from Tamworth. They are country through and through. On the last, downfield, and taken there at the back by Blinman for Farah. So they're 10 out. They've got 90 minutes to go. And 2 converted tries will draw it. And just as I say that, an error from dummy half. They'll hand over possession to Central Coast deep in their own territory. Exactly not what they wanted.
Yeah, they've been competitive today, Farah, because they've made far too many errors. Central Coast have made a few themselves as well, but probably overall less. Good little chip kick again by Simpson, and he chased his own kick. That's what I liked. He put it down into the pocket. It's not a bad spinning trick there. Look at that one, Drew. Look at the halfback spinning that.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Pretty handy. Fatu Mola.
Do you know how to do that?
I would be making mistakes.
Talakai, and now Andre Wisham, who kept it alive on the inside. Back to Talakai, looking for his second. Just shy of that try line. Bailey to the right. They go further infield to Jeffrey, and now Fotomola. Can he get away from Henderson? He plays with lots of vigour, Henderson, but they did keep it alive. Out there is Colafale, and then eventually is that man who's playing on the wing there in jumper number 16. That's Bailey Vayau. So there's Jeffrey at dummy half. Played there by Simpson. They go towards Vayau's side again. The pass is a little bit behind him from Isaac Fotomola. They won't be too concerned about that, Central Coast, as the clock continues to tick down. It'll be Farah ball, but again, they've got it all in front of them.
Yeah, Farah, their attack has been, underwhelming, unfortunately, with a lot of loose passing. But their defence on their try line has to be commended. Both sides have defended quite well. But Farah in particular have had a lot of pressure on their try line, and on a lot of occasions not enough. They've still let in, 3 tries. But they have defended very well, Farah, with some desperation.
Spinks leading from the front once again today, Logan Spinks.
Referee sorry, Drew.
2 in the tackle.
Yeah, referee believing that the tackle had been affected, or 2 in there.
Tap and go from Spinks.
Yeah, good strong run by the young fellow. The horses bolted for them, of course, but overall also pretty good performance here by Central Coast. They'll need to tidy their handling as they get up into the bigger matches. Another loose play.
And another tap and go from Farah. Charlie Henderson.
A try could put some respectability into it. Caution to the wind now, boys.
Henderson gets a little push there from the front rower. And through here is Wetherell. And straight into Singh. Only 19 metres out here. Spinks. Early ball, had to pick it up around his ankles. Did well. Strong tackle there on. It was Noah Hooley, but he's only 10 metres away. So Farah looking for their second try. Thrift. And now the number 10 in Nathaniel Follington, who hasn't stopped trying from the get-go this afternoon. Wetherell. Henderson steps off the left. Steps again. Charlie Henderson runs into the forward pack in Devontae Vaiatua. Just short of the line. Thrift under pressure from Jeffrey. Gets it back. Good ball handling there from Hayden Mitchell. Gets past 1. Gets past 2. Back on the inside. It was knocked on by Central Coast. They'll get a fresh set of 6. Farah, although the clock continues to tick down, and Central Coast will be unfazed by that outcome on that occasion.
Farah still keen to pack the scrum quickly and try and have one last chance to put some points on the board.
But there is the full-time siren. So final score, Farah 6, Central Coast 18. They